Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, the Rise Again Woman. And tonight we have having another amazing topic for you from last week, actually. Um, I apologize. This is a brand new topic. You're my husband and not the enemy. Um, I really felt as if that this topic was appropriate for newly married couples, not just for 2026, but for maybe 2025 and the first, I'll say, first 5 years. After the years of making your own decisions, marriage can make ordinary disagreements feel bigger than it really is. You may hear a different opinion and feel challenged. He may hear your confidence and then shut down. Suddenly, the issue is no longer an issue. The real work is learning that partnership is not surrender. Listening is not losing. Compromise is not a weakness. Your husband is not automatically your opponent because he sees something different. And you are not difficult because you have a voice. The goal is not to stop disagreeing. The goal is to disagree without turning the person you love into the person you have to defeat. So, as I stated, this topic hit me a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to create content on it because I know that after so many years of being single and doing things on your own, when you decide to get married, you have to start to compromise. You have to start, listen to someone else's opinion. You have to start, taking someone else's opinion into consideration. And there's a lot of negotiation and compromise that comes along with that. And if you've been single for maybe 15 plus years and then you decide to get married, that is a huge, huge lifestyle change. Okay, so again, welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships. I'm Coach Glenda Carpenter, your Rise Again woman. Tonight we're talking about something that can surprise you when you marry after years of doing your life your own way. You can love your husband and still struggle with not being the only decision maker anymore. You can be grateful for marriage and still need time to learn partnership. Tonight is not about blaming him or blaming yourself. It is about learning how to stay on the same team even when you do not disagree. Tonight we have Coach Carpenter here, and before we dive in any further in tonight's content, I want to see if he wanted to add any comments about the topic.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. My first few words is don't get it twisted. She said, my husband, and she's talking about a married couple. This topic is bigger than a married couple. This is for married and unmarried. If you have been doing it yourself and you do it well, you don't have any problems, and you decide to start dating or you decide to start living with someone or whatever, it's the same dynamic. Because when you go into a relationship, you go into a partnership. And if you used to doing everything yourself and making your own decisions, when you get into a partnership, whether married, whether single, or whether cohabitating, it's different because it's a union, it's a partnership. And a lot of times you feel that you lose yourself in partnerships. A lot of times you feel you lose your voice in partnerships. A lot of times you feel you lose your identity as well as your freedom in partnerships. And this, you got to realize something. When you decide to have a romantic relationship with someone, and they're with you and you with them, it's not always going to be an agreement. You guys, because you two are different people, so it's not always going to be the same. It's not going to be one accord all the time. So when it's not one accord, or when you have issues or opportunities because difference of opinions, or you see things differently, this is what the night is all about. So don't get hooked up and confused that it's all about marriage. It's all about a relationship. It's all about partnership with someone else. It's all about hitching yourself and your opportunity with someone else's. So don't get it twisted, because I'm going to be bringing out the single end of this, because as a single person, you make a lot of decisions every day for yourself quickly. And then when you commit to someone else and they bring a different perspective, a lot of times if you don't understand the dynamics of the night, the train gonna come off the track, or like they say, the bus gonna run into a ditch. All right, Glenda, let's get started on a great night tonight.
Great. Thank you so much, Coach Carpenter. All right. So, just some teaching points to get us started to open up the door for conversation is independence can become automatic. When you have handled life for so long, deciding quickly can feel normal because you're the only one making the decisions when you're by yourself, unmarried or single. Marriage introduces another voice. They can feel like interruption before it feels like a partnership. Disagreement is not disrespect. A different opinion is not automatically a challenge to your intelligence, authority, or worth. Sometimes it is simply another person's perspective in the room. So try not to look at when your partner makes a suggestion or brings additional comment or feedback to a issue or topic, that you always have to be on the offensive side. It's not to challenge you or your decision making skills. It's just, hey, how about looking at it this way, looking at it from a different perspective? The final say is not the same as feeling safe. Just because I've been here by myself for 20 years, I've been doing this, I've been getting my own car fixed. Who are you to? You feel safe because you've been doing this for so long and can't nobody tell you. Let me tell you, I learned in church for the past maybe 5, 6 years, two is better than one. Winning can end the conversation. It does not always strengthen the relationship. Ask what you actually need: respect, clarity, time, reassurance, or shared decision. Okay, I'm sorry, I had a message here. I don't want to ignore anyone. Okay. Tone can turn a problem into a battle. I know I'm guilty of when I get excited or I'm in a heated conversation. My tone, my voice volume goes up a little bit, but the words may be about money, family schedules, or chores. The emotional message may sound like you do not trust me, you do not value me, you cannot tell me what to do. So we want to try to avoid that. So you have to watch your tone when you're talking or having a discussion or disagreement with your partner. All right. And interdependence is not dependence. Interdependence is not dependence. You do not have to become smaller to become a partner. Healthier marriage makes room for two adults, two voices, and shared responsibilities. So you don't have to shrink yourself to be a wife or a husband. You don't have to put your I think Coach Carpenter said, losing your identity. You don't have to lose who you are to be married, because a lot of people, they lose themselves once they get married because they're just so excited and they're trying to please the other partner. Don't lose who you are in your marriage. You are still a priority. You still have your own thoughts. Also you still have a voice and your voice needs to be heard. So please keep that in mind. So interdependence is not dependent. So just because you're married doesn't mean that you do not have a voice anymore. All right. Are there any questions at this time in regards to anything that we've gone over before we go dive a little deeper in tonight's topic?
Coach Glenda, before you ask any questions, can you slow it down a little bit? Can you give us a reset ritual for about a couple minutes to get us to breathe and relax? Because when you went through that, some of our jaws got kind of tight. Some of us start getting into our feelings. So can you just get us to sit back, relax, breathe, and take a deep breath? Because tonight's going to be a heck of a night because we're going to see ourselves in a lot of this information, not just because we're married or not married. It's because we've been doing it on our own and been calling our own shots for so long that a lot of times we turn people away or off when we don't know how to play nice. We don't know how to be a partner. We don't know how to get in the sandbox and work it out together. So can you relax us a little bit and get us to whoosah for a few minutes?
No problem, no problem, Coach Carpenter. So let's take a few deep breaths for a moment. Put your feet flat on the floor. Take a few slow, deep breaths, maybe 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Just relax. Hopefully, you already have your beverage of choice right next to you, helping you relax as you take your deep breaths. Relax your shoulders and unclench your jaws. This is not going to be about, putting blame on anybody. Say quietly, I do not have to win this conversation to be heard. So every time you think about a discussion with your partner, your significant other, remember you do not have to win this conversation just to be heard. Because you still love your partner, you love your spouse, you love your significant other. And sometimes we can agree to disagree. So let's finish up with these deep breaths so we can relax. All right. Thank you so much for taking time out for that.
Now
Coach,
let me come on right quick.
go
Okay,
ahead.
tonight's topic once again, Coach Linda said, "You're my husband, not my enemy." And I came out and said, "It's not so much because you're married or unmarried; it's because your partner, whoever you partnership with, whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, or whether it's your roommate, or whether it's a person you cohabitate with, or whether it's a close friend." You know yourself. A lot of times when you hear them say stuff that you don't like, something just your spirit just balls up inside of you because when you even hear them talk, you say this S ain't gonna go nowhere here, and it's because you have been commander or captain or guidance of your own journey or your own spirit so long that a lot of times when you bring a new person into your life or your situation, that person bring a new perspective, and a lot of times you don't always accept it. You don't always agree because it always seems like the person kind of control you or try to limit you or try to stifle you. So that's what the night's all about tonight. So let's start by sharing our thoughts on that topic there. I'll be the first to start. I'll start us off since I got the helm already. Um, I know I'm a strong-willed person. I know what I want, I know what I like, and I know what I'm gonna do, and I know damn sure know what I ain't gonna do. A lot of times when I got with someone or we got together, I could hear them say stuff, and I would say, "This girl is crazy. Ain't no in the heck we're gonna do this." And a lot of times it could be that what she's saying may be the best for both of us. But because of my long standing of I need to be in control of my own journey, I let my feelings get in the way and I shut it down quickly. And sometimes it's to my detriment. Sometimes if I should learn how to go along and get along because I get further up the road. But there's something inside of me that won't let me always say yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Sometimes that flag come up kind of quick. So let's share that before we get any deeper in this conversation. Anyone else got something you want to share in that light? Ooh, everybody get along, go along. I know that ain't the case. Okay, Glenn, I guess
I
everybody gets
think
okay.
I think for me, not well, I've been married and all that kind of stuff. So I think for me, it's sort of like first of all, I have to have the assurance inside of me that that person is able to be my partner is able to be like a captain of a ship, or that their thought process or their pattern for us uh, could be good for us and not a bad thing. I've also have learned where I have to in life take a moment to, let's say my partner or my person would say something or make suggestions or choose to take the helm to do something with me or for us or whatever. I and I sometimes I may have to take a seat back just for a moment to think about it, because it may not be that I really want that to happen like that, or I'm comfortable with them doing that or saying that. And I have to consider it. And when I consider it, and if I consider it a positive, okay. But if I consider it a negative, I stand up against it. I don't allow myself to just say, okay, be submissive to the situation. I
Mhm.
stand up against the situation. So I don't know.
Understood.
Okay. So that's it.
And that was powerful. I like that firm. You said a person got to demonstrate that they can be the captain of a ship. That's golden. I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you very, very much. Any more shares? I had to say, if you care to share.
Ah, okay.
I've got something to
Go
say.
ahead.
Yes.
Um, and it's a little different, so bear with me when I say it. In relationships, you can be just alike, and in my life's journey, I have learned that sometimes when a person says something to you, you may not like it, but it may be the best thing for you. And they
Yes.
always say opposite attract.
Attractive.
So you may be um, not very good at one thing, but they're very good at another thing. And then when you get together, and if you can come to a common goal, then it balances out. If you can understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. You
Yes.
guys are powerful tonight. Y'all got a lot of wisdom in here tonight.
Yes.
Phew, y'all teaching the teachers.
Two good points were made. Two good points were made.
Any more before Glenda gets back on the roll here?
I want to, while we're waiting for someone else to share, if they so desire, one practical tool that we have in place is the team. TEAM. T. Take a pause. Lower your voice. Slow your response. Do not answer from the first wave of emotion. E. Explain the issue, not his character, not her character. Say what happened. Avoid you always, you never, and labels. A, ask what you need. Be specific. I need 10 minutes. I need us to decide this together. I need you to hear why this matters to me. And M, make room for his or her view. Ask, what are you seeing that I may be missing? Listening does not mean automatic agreement. So that is one practical tool that you can use. It's called the team pause. Absolutely, communication is definitely the key. But when you're communicating, you always have to remember to the other person, you have to make sure the other person is, you know, listening and paying attention to you.
That teen pause you said is a great thing because I know a lot of times when you just talk off the cuff of your head, you really just spit stuff out and you don't have time to really grasp what the other person is saying. You haven't given them the other time, or you haven't taken the time to listen because you so quickly want to be heard that you don't listen to understand. So that teen pause you just came, that exercise is an excellent exercise. That teen pause because it gives you a chance to stop, slow down, give you a chance to lower your voice, and then you slow your response. You don't rapid
Correct.
to them. You're not making it a debate or you're not making it a verbal battle. You're actually relaxing, slowing down, and then you explain the issues. You describe the problem, not the person,
Right.
because that's important. So the person don't have to take it personal. That's the first thing. And then when you ask what you need, you got to be specific. What you really need. Do you need more time? Do you need a better view of the plan? Or like Annette said, I might need you to demonstrate that you can be the captain.
Right. Correct. Very
And
good point.
like Gigi said, you gotta have a positive in there for us somewhere in here. Because if this is not gonna end up for us positively winning together, then we might need more. And then when you ask your partner, you say you make room for your partner to show you what's missing because you may not see it all. You may be so wrapped in your own thoughts that you don't look beyond what's in front of you, where your partner might be a logistic person that can think ahead in layers. And that person may have the ability to look into the future and see what's best for you guys, what's around the road. Where you might be running into a roadblock, they may see a bridge around or bridge over. So that
Right.
pause thing seems like something small and something simple, but it's powerful. Tonight, we don't want you to miss any of this tonight because these are things you can take into any relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a partnership, or whether it's just you and your girlfriends and guy friends kicking it. This
Right.
stuff tonight. All right, Glenda.
All right. So we're gonna get into illustration. One of our illustrations tonight is about money.
Woo!
Money.
What you talking about, girl?
Yes, money. I've always handled my own finances. Tanya, 47, has been financially independent for more than 20 years. She wants to replace a major appliance and places a order before mentioning it to her husband. I wonder what appliance that is. He is frustrated because they agreed to discuss larger purchases. Tanya, Tanya immediately hears his concern as control. I've been paying my bills since before I met you. The deeper issue is not the appliance. Tanya is protecting autonomy. Her husband is asking for shared decision making. A healthier response is I notice I got defensive because I am used to making these calls alone. I still need financial autonomy, but I understand why a shared purchase needs a shared conversation. So, what do you guys think about that example? You've been making all the purchases for your house, the washer, dryer, the refrigerator, dishwasher, all the aboves for yourself, and all of a sudden you share the information that you already purchased the item without your husband's knowledge, and he is like, "What?"
I know y'all got something to say about this one because I've seen this one played out a whole bunch.
I see it played out on a regular.
And
Oh, so
I don't want to hog his show tonight. So everybody else, I'll let somebody else say something before I say.
okay. Tonight
Yeah,
in the chat we
I
have he knew it broke.
Somebody gonna say something, Glenn. Let them say it. Then
Oh,
you
okay,
go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead, whoever that
uh,
is.
hi, I'm Matthew. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing well, sir. Go ahead.
Good. I want to touch on what was just said about the purchase of the new appliance. And once that's found out, now whether it's he who purchased it or she who purchased it, without sharing the information about purchasing it or making that decision to purchase it before discussing it. And once it's found out, once that cat is out of the bag that the purchase has been made without the discussion prior to the purchase, the anger has already arrived. So the anger's on the scene. Now, that's the approach that we're coming out, you know, because now you've done something we talked about not doing before we discuss it. So do you understand what I'm saying? So now we get into a point where the discussion becomes so heated and the topic isn't really what was purchased, but it's about how mad I am with you or how mad you are with me because of the decision. How do we keep the anger level down? Because you can't. Sometimes you can't just stop and take a deep breath. That's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Correct.
It's and but that's what probably needs to come to mind first. What do we do to avoid making that spontaneous decision to go and do that without the discussion about it first?
That brother got some real talk there. That brother got some real talk.
Well, I mean, in the example, she already made the purchase. So that's the reason for, the discussion. She made
Right.
the major purchase
Yeah.
without talking to
Without
her
the
spouse.
discussion. Right.
Yeah, but that's not what he's concerned about right about now.
No.
Right. So you want to know how do we move
What
forward from this?
No, what do we need to do to back up before that decision to purchase? I mean, we gotta, like you said, we gotta get out of our heads that I've been doing this all my life, or
Correct.
I've been doing this for the last 10 years or
Correct.
15 or 20 years. We gotta get rid of that.
Right.
I think that's more so the topic that needs to be discussed in depth about all things, and the relationship. And another thing I want to touch on is I've heard somewhere a partnership and a relationship. And a relationship you can relate, but in a partnership you can become a part, and you can be a part or apart.
Correct.
Where it's this thing is coming apart. It's no longer held together. But when you were in a relationship, you can relate to one another. I don't know if the terminologies in that make any difference in the conscious part of our minds or in the subconscious part of our minds. I don't know. It's a really deep topic for me to
Yes,
really
indeed.
get.
Well, I have something to say on it.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
But my thing is, let's take the fact off the table that she's used to taking care of herself. So you got two people in a house. An appliance breaks down. It was breaking down before it needed to be replaced. So my thing is, if you knew it was broken or you knew it was about to break down, then the conversation should have been had. We need to go and buy this. Why did she have to go out on her own and get it? Maybe it was the refrigerator. Maybe it was the stove, but it was something that needed to be replaced. So he shouldn't have an attitude because she replaced it because he wants a meal on the table when he gets home.
Right.
Yeah, I see that, but there is that situation, and I know the word appliance was used.
Hmm.
Uh, but let's put something else in the place of the word appliance. Cars parked out on the street. Someone hits that car, totals the car. Got to have another car. Got to have it immediately. can't get in touch with the husband, can't get in touch with the wife. Here comes a really good deal on the car. Gotta
Okay.
have
Mm-hmm.
now this wasn't a case where, well, somebody's eventually going to run into the car and total it. No, I mean you just didn't know somebody's going to run into the car. And sometimes it's the same case with a household appliance. Sometimes it breaks, it's done, and there was no signs of it. But when you can't get in touch with the significant other, that's the word I want to use, for some reason, and the purchase is urgent. The purchase is there any excusable explanation as to why it was done?
Well, me personally, let's go back to the appliances. Okay, say it was the stove. If my stove broke and I went and purchased another one, I would bring to my husband attention. Okay, the stove is broke. I purchased it. If you not satisfied, you take it back, but you go out and make sure we have something to eat. If it's the washer and the dryer, if something happened to the washer dryer and you not satisfied that I went and purchased it, you take it back and you go to the laundromat.
Okay. But
Yeah.
that's rework.
Well, in a household where conditions existing replacement of these appliances are within budget, where they're affordable. I think it makes it easier than if the household's struggling. If we have a budget, not particularly struggling, but if we do have a budget to maintain, and if something's out of budget, it's still within an affordable range, but it breaks the budget. In other words, you gotta take from Peter in order to pay Paul, in order to sacrifice going without this appliance that's needed, or in order to replace the appliance that's needed. It all comes down to really, with me, I think, and I heard Coach mention the type of person that he is, and I consider myself to be extremely understanding, um, with it. I said, man, my God, I don't want, I wish he would have told me. I wish he would have told me, but it's done. It may not have been the best decision made, but okay, is there a point where we can look at it and say, hey, honey, wait a minute. Let's look at this. I understand you got it. Can we take it back? Can we get a lesser expensive one? Did we really need to have it? It's done. Let's not fight about it, but let's backtrack and let's reevaluate the decision we made. Can we change it? So that's just the type of person I am, to keep peace in the relationship. That's what I like to do.
Right.
I'm always chasing that better way of being. I want to keep the relationship. That's the most important thing to me.
So I would think about this, being that we're together as a couple, and if it's a purchase of something breaking down or something we need to buy, we should discuss it. We should come to an agreement. Now, it's nothing wrong with me personally going out and looking at something that I like and bringing it back to the table and say, this is going on, and I went and looked, and I like this. What do you think about it? Let me take you to go and look at it here, or I've taken a picture of it, or I'll show you. Let's talk about this. But as far as me going out and purchasing it for it to be delivered to our home or whatever without us discussing it, I don't think that's right. I I I wouldn't accept that. Now, if my husband or my man friend went out and got something, I think he'll tell me, um, I thought we needed this, and now in this position, he's being the captain of the ship. He's saying, "Hey, we needed this, and I went and got it for us to save us from whatever." And I would expect for him to tell me his reasonings why he went and already made the purchase without us talking about it, because it may be something I would think, "Hey, I want a different type. I like a better one. I like this,
Yeah, sure.
than what you got." So still, before it gets there to the house, tell me about it. Let's talk about it, because I might say, that's not really the one I would like to work with all the time. I would like to look at a different one. I don't think the final purchase should have been without us discussing it.
That's right.
That's what I
That's right. Okay.
Now, would either you guys be opposed to in relationships or marriage that it be stated up front that okay, anything over $500, we're gonna put a financial cap on, things that we can purchase on our own, like him by himself or her by herself. $500 is the max. Anything over $500, we have to consult or include the other party. Would that, making that known at the beginning of your relationship, would that make a difference? Would it, kind of avoid this little hiccup that just has happened in this scenario?
I think
I kind of would think that we should discuss something. We're a partnership. If it's coming into our environment, it's going to affect us all. And I think we should talk about it, unless it's a personal item. But if it's a household or something for us, let's talk about it. That's what I think.
So, okay, so you don't agree with that. You think, regardless of what it is, it
Correct.
need to be talked about up front.
Correct. That's the way I feel
Okay,
about it.
Well,
Yes.
okay,
well,
understood.
well, well, I kind of don't see nothing wrong with that. I would maybe say about $300, not five, because in purchasing major appliances, women be wanting and expecting more of an appliance than what a basically man would want. So, mm, I think-
okay. Okay. Now, can I? My turn to weigh in now a little bit.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
When you first came up, that Marcus came on board, and what Marcus' question really was, Marcus said, "Is mad." Once the person see what was done, they're mad. So his thing was that anger in them is going to make everything chaotic from that point on. So the
Right.
was he wanted, what kind of guardrails can you put in place so we won't get here? That was the whole crust of his conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Guardrails can we put in place so we won't get here? And that's marital planning, pre-planning, counseling. That's when you're dating someone, that's done in the runway. Is we have those conversations. Let's address conflict resolution before we get into a conflict. Because if we don't address it on the front end, when we get in it, we're gonna be mad, heated, and ain't nothing you're gonna say gonna appease me or make me change my mind on how I feel, because I've already got this resentment built in my heart. And I see that you didn't blew our money or whatever. So that's why you have to have this conflict resolution prior to the conflict. And this is if you're gonna get married, pre-counseling. So you can address these things before they happen. And if you address them before they happen, when they do happen, you have a guide or some roadmap on how to handle these things. And then when you have one-offs, let's say you did the counseling, you have the roadmap, you have the guardrails in place, and then we have the one-offs that somebody I just had to do it. Like Marcus said, the car got hit. I needed a car. I saw a good deal. I went and brought a car. You need to have some type of grace period. This is when grace come in. You got to have grace. You got to have grace for those one-offs. Grace. And this one-off say, "Hey, dear, I wish you hadn't have done that, but it's done now. How can we make the best of a bad situation?" And these are the things that you have to have, because life happens to all of us.
Yes, it does. My God.
All of us, the best made plans of mice and men, you have trouble with that. So this was a great conversation about this first illustration. You guys brought out of a lot of things. Because when Marcus was talking about being mad, I saw this lady head running. I work every day. I work every day. That's my money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the head shaking, the finger wagging. I see it all. So first thing you realize, like that, like Marcus said, that peace, pause may not be the first thing come to your mind. So it's very important that you have pre-counseling if you're gonna get married, and if you're dating in the runway, when you first get involved and realize that it's serious, you and that person need to figure out how you're going to handle conflicts and conflict resolutions when they come up. So that way you don't throw the baby out the bathwater and you don't end a perfect relationship behind something that's not so important. Okay? Any questions, any comments before we go to number 2?
I agree with you.
Okay. All right, Glenda, number 2.
I think the men are sticking together on tonight's topic.
Well, you can always say, okay, honey, you did it. Let's go bungee jumping, and then only tie the rope at one end.
That's funny. That's funny, Marcus.
And then you're gonna get you another lady.
That's funny.
No, that's not true.
But it was funny. It was funny. Okay, example number 2. Family. Do not tell me how to deal with my family. Oh my goodness, that's an excellent one. Monique, 39, has always handled conflict with her relatives privately. Her husband speaks up after a family member repeatedly disrespects their plans. Monique feels exposed and says, "That is my family. Stay out of it." He hears, "You are not really part of my family." The reset is to separate loyalty from partnership. Monique can say, "I need to lead the conversation with my family, but I always want to hear how this is affecting you and I."
Okay, any comments? I'm gonna be last.
Well, family is always a sensitive topic because we know our family better than the other party. I mean, we've been dealing with them for years, so what you may see is that's not even that serious. That we Oh yes, that is serious. I know who I'm talking to. So when it comes to family conflicts, ooh, I think everybody should stay in their, personally, I feel like everybody should stay in their respectable places and just, after it's all said and done, don't make a big scene in the midst of everything, but like pull your significant other off to the side. I overheard that conversation and I just didn't like what I heard, or I disagree. You don't supposed to embarrass or disagree publicly, with your partner in public or, around other folks. So if there is a conflict or a discussion going on between me and my family, I would prefer if Rufus will pull me into a side when we're by ourselves and say, "I didn't like what such and such said to you," or "I don't even like the way you responded back to auntie and uncle," and we can deal with it from that point. But when it comes to family, it's like that's a very sensitive topic because the person knows their family better than you because you've been in it the whole time. And they're new to the family and they have to you know see for themselves or make their own observation. You can't just jump in double dutch into a family conversation because you don't know my family. I know them.
Can I, oh, yeah,
Absolutely. Chime
yeah,
in.
yeah. Now the way I see it, ain't nobody gonna say nothing about my family or jump in nothing because I don't care. I can say what I want to say about them, but they been that.
Exactly. You don't even
Okay.
want them to pull you off to the side, do you, Sharon?
No show don't. They ain't got nothing to say.
Because
Well, I
family are
got.
forever.
Yeah.
I want to comment on that.
Go ahead.
What I mean, this is just me, you know, and this is what keeps me going. I say, you know, your opinion about me, how you feel about me, and what you think about me, the way you do that is none of my business. So you go on and think and say whatever you want, and I'm all right with it. And I keep my peace that way with me and my
Okay.
family.
Okay. Understood.
I agree.
Okay.
I do warn whoever I'm with about my family. So best thing to do is sit in the corner and just bear it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thankful that I do get along with my family. We are you know, not all of us. And when we say a family, I'm thinking immediate family, but no, family is more than just that immediate family. It's relatives, you know, cousins
Right.
and aunts and uncles. It's inclusive of everyone. So, but anyway, that's just my point. How you feel and what you think about me is none of my business.
Understood. Coach Carpenter, you want to chime in with some thoughts?
No, everybody's great. Oh, I agree with everything said. Everything's great. No controversy there.
Okay, that's awesome. We're doing great then. All right. Time and routine. Example number 3. I,
Hold on. I'm sorry. Excuse me if you don't mind. I really think there is some controversy there as
okay.
far as family is concerned, because actually, a person, we can allow our family to be abusing us, misusing us, doing things that we just go through as normal because it's family and we can't see into it. But then we might have a partner or a spouse or someone that really care for us and our well-being and how we're being treated or conduct ourselves with someone that can see into that relationship that has a different view, and they could bring clarity to us to say, hey, I know this is your family and I've noticed this behavior. um I don't really like it for you, or I was
Hmm.
could you consider thinking about this, or have you thought about this, or look at how this has been going on, look at this pattern. I think that I would like to have a friend that could say, I really like the way you and your family get along, or you and that member of your family. I like the relationship y'all have. I think it's pretty cool. Or they could say something's totally different. I've looked at this and I've paid attention, but I don't really like that.
Right.
Maybe you should think about it or look at it. Don't tell me how to handle it, but allow me to see your side of what you see, because I'm thinking you care for me and you got my better interests at heart. So allow
Mm-hmm.
me to know what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
Right.
And that I was gonna keep my mouth shut.
Oh,
you,
this is reset. We for real. This is real
you
stuff.
done, you done pull me out. I try not to go here. I was staying out of this one.
No,
But
we
what?
talking real.
Yeah. All right. Since Annette made me go, I got to go into deep water. A lot of times when it's dealing with other person's family, the outsider, not the one that's outside the family, tends to stay off and let things happen as they will, because they, well, like you say, they feel that, hey, you may have a better insight of your family. But here's what I seen your family will use the hell out of you, and because I'm connected to you, they use the hell out of me too. Because if they're using you, they're using me too.
Right.
To stand by and see you get used and me get used through you, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work, because a lot of times, especially the outsider, and you see that your spouse, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, boo, whatever it is, being used by their family, because sometimes family members know how to manipulate other family members. Because one, you may be the oldest sibling or you may be the youngest sibling, and because of how you fall in that pack, you may get special treatment, or you may get used and abused, or you may be the one that carried the family on your back. And when you get married or get booed up with someone, your family may not realize that, hey, look, your resources now have to go to your significant other or your wife, your husband, or your partner, where they're saying, oh, wait, whoa, wait a minute. Just because you married, that don't mean you gotta up, you can't give your fair share and then some more. So these are the things that as a significant other of someone that's really have a close family ties, sometimes you got to get them to realize now you're family, you're part of that family, you love your family, you can help them as much as you can, but you have responsibilities over here too. When your family responsibilities start tugging on and reducing the resources we have in our family, and we're suffering because you're giving so much to your family. And I know nobody want to see their family members suffer. I know no one wants to see their family members go raggedy or whatever. But at the same time, you got to realize when you have a family that you're taking on, whether it's by marriage or whether it's by commitment, that you have this family you just created for yourself. Sometimes your natural siblings and stuff like that may have to take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to say it, sometimes a strong spouse or a strong significant other, a strong partner can say, hey, look, babe, them grown people over there like grown people over here. We got to go and face it every day. They got to go and face it every day. And the choices they make, sometimes they got to benefit their choices. If they choose wisely, they got wise outcome. If they choose poorly, they got poorly outcome. And that's the way you got to do it, because a lot of times people say, that's my family. Like Sharon said, can't nobody talk about my family. Sharon may be, and I'm not saying this is you, Sharon, but I'm just using an example. Like Sharon might say, I don't care. My family come first. You come second, where that may be some conflict. So that's all I'm saying. I wasn't going to say that, but Annette pulled me out into deep water, and I got to swim. So that's the only thing I say about family, because families sometimes take advantage of you, even they know that you have your own new family you just created. They're not going to let you take a break. I've seen times where family members have paid, grown family members have paid for other grown family members to stay in a family house that they're not even staying in, and they're paying the mortgage, rent, lights for a family member that's grown like they are. You know, where does it stop?
Where are they disabled?
Nope, they're healthy every day.
Oh, snap.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Well, that's all I had to say. And you pulled me out there, so I had to say it.
You said a mouthful.
And you definitely have to know when enough is enough dealing with family, because they will take advantage of you.
Yes, indeed.
Real. Yes,
I
indeed.
got a fix for that.
What's that?
Take them bungee jumping.
And don't try the other end.
You.
Don't give up. But yes, indeed. And sometimes, and be honest with you, sometimes family do that just to spoil your relationship.
Yeah, they do.
So they don't want you this. They want you to themselves. They don't want you to go out and find your own life. So they figure you go out and find your own life, you taking away from them too. So they try to
That's
sabotage.
selfish, though. That's selfish. Selfish.
Old money bags is gone.
Yep.
You know, I want to say something. You know, and how I am today and how I'm living my life, me, I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I've got more time, so I think, behind me than I believe I have in front of me. So I want to live out the rest of my life, joyous, happy, and free. You know, I wanna try and do things right, do things correctly, and I know some days it's harder than others. Not every day is gonna, good things are gonna happen every day. Every day's a good day, but not good things are gonna happen every day. So I just take it step by step and just think and say, hey, I want to do the next right thing, and put God first, in everything that I do. I just have to pray up. It's like when I get in the car and go to work. I have to pray and ask God to lead and guide me to and from. It's not that I get in the car and expect to drive safely and make it there and make it back on my own. There's got to be some higher power that's got an involvement in the situations and the decisions that I make and watching over me. So a lot of this for me, and again, that's who I'm talking about. I just have to put God and get God involved in it. And it seems to work out for me every time.
Since every day we wake up, we got
Yeah,
another day to get it right.
that's it.
Yes, it is.
Guys, on that last comment that the two comments just got made, I think that's a closer out of there, Glenda. So I think you have to make a decision. Do you want to continue this into next week and sign us out now, or just want to say this we got the gist of the night and close it down and say it's a done deal? How do you want to proceed? Because I think it's 9:55. I mean, yeah, 9:57.
So if you guys want a part two, let us know. We still got two more examples and we still have some content to go over. But if not, like Coach Carpenter said, we can, oh, okay. You know,
I,
okay, sounds like a winner.
I've got one question concerning the next session. I'm thinking it would be on next week, same bat time, same bat channel
Correct.
kind
Right.
of thing. How do I do this next week without having to get another invite, or that's what I'm calling it?
Well, the
On
email, I think I have your email and I sent you an email. And
I
the
got
link
it.
is at the very bottom.
Is that the same link I use next week?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Yes.
same link.
Okay.
Nothing's changed.
Okay. Okay. That's my question. In short form, that's my question. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have part two next week. And we do appreciate you guys for showing up as always. You are a big part of Reset, and we just love your participation as well as your attendance. So as we close tonight, you do not have to leave with everything figured out. Take one thing with you. Your husband is not automatically your enemy because he has a different opinion, and you are not wrong for needing your own voice. The work is learning how to whole people stay on the same team.
What's Father Brown?
This week, practice one pause, one honest sentence, one invitation to listen. Small changes can create a very different conversation. Good night, everyone. See you next week, Sunday night at 9.
Good
Good
night.
Good
night.
I'll
night.
be right.
Good
I'll
night.
be
You
there.
guys
Good
are awesome
Good
today.
night.
You
night,
guys had some powerful
Coach
comments tonight.
Glendora.
I'm glad I was a part of this.
Good night.
I
Good
will
night.
never let you down.